We're waiting on a few more council members.
Okay.
Maybe two more.
Okay. Councilman Randolph probably done. Call in from my end. I'll let you know when he's in.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. City Council member, Mr. President. You are muted. You can mute or unmute yourself by pressing *6.
4, just need one more. How you doing, Councilman Randolph?
Hey, doing good?
Councilwoman Joe.
Councilman Randolph, are you on?
Yes. Yes. Stay here. Yeah, we have a 5.
Hello?
Hey, Councilwoman Youngblood. Okay. We're in a holding pattern waiting for the Suffolk City Council meeting to get started momentarily. Randy Williams with you. This City Council meeting is being brought to you in part by Junebugs on the on West Island Avenue, Junebugs Antique and Flea Market, also in part by City Council President Corey Boyd and by the Randy Williams for Mayor campaign. All right, council members, it's 5 o'clock. We do have a quorum, and now we can conduct the city's business. At this time, I want to ask Councilman Short, if you'll be so kind to give us the invitation.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to draw your attention to the King James Version of Psalms, chapter 31, verse 3 and 4. And this is specifically for council members. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for that name's sake, lead me and guide me. Pull me out of the net they have laid privately for me. For thou art my strength. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, once again, we come so humbly before you, on bending knees and humble hearts, asking you to once again get the midst of our deliberation of doing the business of the people for Selma, Alabama. For after all, we elected officials, that is our number one choice, that is to do the business of the people. And once we cease doing that and start doing business of ourselves, then we have forsaken our responsibilities. We're going to always ask you, Father, to be in the midst of our deliberation, lead and guide us in doing what is right, the righteous for we the people. Because government is for, of, and by the people. We're going to always remember to give you praise, glory, and honor. In the holy name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, very much, Lord. At this time, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, Madam Clerk, roll call.
President Bowie,
Present.
Councilor Boleen, Councilor Boleen, Councilwoman Youngblood, here. Councilwoman Jackson, present. Councilwoman Dixon, here. Councilman Randolph,
Here.
Councilman LaSure,
Present.
Councilwoman Thomas, here. Councilman Johnson,
Here.
Councilman Boleen.
Okay. As stated before, we do have a quorum. The character trait of the month is alertness, being aware of what is taking place around me so I can have the right response. At this time, council members, you have before you the August 11th agenda. Are there any corrections, deletions?
At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to adopt the August 11th agenda.
So moved.
There's a motion on the floor from Councilwoman Youngblood and second Councilman Johnson. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Bowie,
Ma'am.
Councilman Bowling, Councilwoman Youngblood. Yes. Councilwoman Jackson. Yes. Councilwoman Benjamin. Yes. Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman LaTour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas. Yes. Councilman Dunn.
Councilman Dunn. Yes. Okay,
You are
the
unmuted.
agenda was passed unanimously. Council members, you have before you, your consent agenda that Ms. Ellison, emailed to you this afternoon. One of the items was omitted. Councilman Shore wanted to bring it up on last night, wanted to be added to the consent agenda. So that means we would have 8 items for consent agenda for your consideration. And that item was, what about it, Councilman Shore? I will go ahead on. It was to welcome the Secretary of State to be involved in the election process to avoid, voter fraud. That was the item that Councilman Shore wanted to bring forth as part of the consent agenda on last night. So we will have 8 items to be considered for the consent agenda. And so then, go ahead. Mr. President, let's just read election fraud. That is the voter fraud. There's multiple activities that are fraud and fraudulent activities that is going on in our city as we speak. So election fraud will also cover voter activities. Yes, sir. I had election fraud. Okay? Consent item number 1. Consent item number 1 is to approve the landfill department to purchase equipment. A dozer for $149,877, a dump truck for $195,322, a fence for $600 to $800, established as part of the ADM correction plan. Consent item number 2, to approve to increase for 20 election poll workers for a total of 72 workers at $300 per worker for a total of $21,600. Consent item number 3, to approve to purchase an office and bank tax spreads for the police department, 2 for the police department, 2 for the fire department, and 2 for City Hall at $499 each, and a grand total of $2,994. Consent item number 4, to approve for first reading ordinance 0101-1920 for Juneteenth holiday. Consent item number 5 was brought up on last night, to approve hazardous pay for non-subsidy employees for $1,800 per employee, as we talked about on last night, for a total of $110,913.30. Consent item number 6.
Hey,
Councilman Randolph, these funds will be drawn down for the $1 million reserve account. Consent item number 6, to approve the change to the council work session on 8/24/20 and the council meeting on August the 25th to the work session August 31st and the council meeting September the 1st, and to approve the agency's contracts and payment. And consent item number 8, Councilman Short brought forth, is to welcome the Secretary of State into our city to take part in the election process to eliminate election fraud. At this time, the chair will entertain a motion to place all 8 items on the consent agenda. Do I have a motion on the floor? We have a motion on the floor by Councilman Johnson. Do we have a second?
President
A
Bowie.
second. Okay, we have a second by Councilman LaSure. Any other additional questions?
President Bowie, this is
Yes,
Ms.
ma'am.
President Roger
Yes,
Wade. I need to clarify something before you all vote. Moselle Williams is trying to get on the call right now, but we had a discussion and it was discovered that it's an additional $17,000 to cover the warranty, to extend the warranty on the articulator dump truck. So if we could add an additional $17,500 to that total amount. The total amount of everything that's needed to fulfill the ADM requirements, including equipment and the silk fence, is $371,041.
$371,000 and how much?
$41.
$71,000.
And that warranty, we really need that warranty, Mr. President, especially with
And the two, I know that was one of the concerns that you brought forth. So that's a total of $371,041.
$371.41. $371,041.
$41.
And one additional clarification is there was one omission of salary for the administrative person that sits in the public buildings office, Ms. Harris. So that was an oversight because they were in the wrong department. So the total now goes from 110 to 112 now.
$112,000 correction. That's for item number 4, consent item number 5. So $112,000, $110,000. With that amended amount, do I have a motion on the floor? Move forward in the improvement of the facility.
We'll move it, President.
Okay, President Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Bowling, Councilwoman Johnson, yes. Councilwoman Jackson.
Hold on.
Councilwoman Jackson.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello? Okay.
Hello?
I vote, yes, ma'am. My vote is yes on all but number 7. I think Mr. Jackson, Michael Jackson's office may be a part of some of these agencies and contracts, and that would be a conflict, and I'm unable to vote on that, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to go out of. Vote no on all of those. Also, Mr. President, I remember next. Go ahead, thank you.
Councilwoman Benjamin,
Yes.
Council Randolph,
Yes.
Councilman LaSure,
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas, yes. Councilman Johnson.
Yes.
All right, the consent agenda passed. At this time, council members, are there any announcements from your respective wards? Are there any announcements? Any announcements from your respective wards?
I do.
Go ahead, Councilman Thomas.
Yes, I want to make an announcement that I was setting up a meeting for Ward 7 around the first week in September. We'll have a ward meeting to give a report. And I will let you know the time, how we will do this ward meeting.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other reports, announcements from your respective wards? Okay, at this time, I'm going to go to the citizen request. Mr. Quentin Bell, are you on the line? Mr. Bell? Okay, go ahead.
This is number 4 today, and my wife scale society
we recently opened our mobile food truck right at the Brooklyn Bridge downtown, and we applied for permission from the city council to park that in the parking lot. We've initially been parking behind our building, but that's parking. And the guy getting in at the parking for coffee. I'm going to get a phone call. Yeah, what we need to do is just
Mr. Bell, you still there?
yes, I am.
Okay. Go ahead. You're breaking up.
Okay, I will be honest with you. Our nonprofit, the Knights and Orchid Society, we would like to come before the council today and ask for permission to get a special permit to park our food truck in the Welcome Center parking lot. The food truck, the sole purpose of it is to push restaurant quality, healthy food back into our community. And then in turn, for selling that food, we're able to put that money back into our program, so we're not constantly depending on grant funding to be able to support our mission. And currently, we've been supporting the city. We pushed like 70,000 pounds back into Dallas County, and about 50% of that has gone directly into Selma itself. We have a community garden that currently we use the produce from that garden to directly support our food truck, and we really need from the city council used to get permission to be able to park our food truck in the Welcome Center parking lot overnight. And that was what we were requesting from the city today. Okay.
Are there any questions, council members, at this time? Any comments?
I have a question, Mr. President.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Jackson.
Have he had an opportunity to speak with our attorney to determine if this is something that we could do and make sure that we're doing it in a legal manner so one food truck wouldn't say that one had a privilege over the other? Can we direct them to that, get some legal understanding behind it and then make an informed decision? I'm not opposed to it. I just don't want there to be a food truck war.
Okay. Mr. Bell, would you object to that, if we refer you to our attorney and let him look into it for us, then we can come back if everything is over with? Mr. Bell?
Mr. Bell can hear you.
Mr. Bell? Mr. Bell?
Okay, you now?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. No, Councilwoman Jackson, we are not opposed to that. That makes perfect sense to us. We just want to make sure we're doing everything by book. So whatever you all suggest or recommend to us, we're definitely willing to follow that protocol.
All right. Thank you. What we would do is our attorney on the line, Attorney Madison, if you would get with Mr. Bell, I would relay his contact information to you. Attorney Madison.
Mr. President.
So, Councilwoman Benson, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think a process it must be already in place, and it's a matter of just pulling it, because we already have a food truck that travels around the city. We have a Tally Home food truck unless it's on private property every time it goes to the site, and maybe that's the case. If that is not the case, and every time they move around the city, their city property, then there's a protocol already set. And so all we have to simply do is pull that protocol.
Yes, ma'am. And that's why I give the attorney Madison to make sure that we have that protocol in place. Thank you, Councilwoman Benson. Anything else, Mr. Bell?
The last thing is that we were wanting is to have a follow-up conversation with any council members that we're looking to discuss potential community gardens for the city. Like I said, a big part of the work that we do is food sustainability and Selma is a food business. Our organization we already have a community garden that we're using to supplement some of the stuff that we do for the community.
but we would love to have a follow-up conversation with any council that may have connected with the USDA and potentially talk about a partnership with the city where we can kind of come in and take some vacant lots within a different ward and try to come up with a plan for some community gardens. We would definitely have a follow-up conversation with anybody.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Are there any additional questions for Mr. Bell?
Yeah, just finally, Mr. Bell, we do community gardens every year. This is the first year that we have not, so we would love to partner with you and show you what the framework that we already have laid down and the lots that we already use and any lots that you have in mind. We certainly can collaborate. President Bowie?
Yes, Councilwoman. Go ahead.
I'd like to tell Mr. Bell, I have a community garden in Ward 7.
Would you like to work with us?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bell, we would definitely do a follow-up with you as far as working with community garden. Are there any additional questions for Mr. Bell at this time? All right, thank you, Mr. Bell. Thank you, sir. Now to the mayor's report. Mayor Melton, are you on the line? Mayor Melton, are you on the line? Okay, Attorney Melton? Good evening. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. President, members of the City Council, ladies and gentlemen, listening audience. I have 3 items to report on tonight in addition to what was reported last night. The first item is that the contract that I was requested to provide has been provided. The second item is an email from Todd Carter at ADM. I received it this afternoon, earlier this afternoon. He was just asking for an update on the status of the consent order. They're waiting on it to be processed. They're waiting to receive it to confirm our signing off on it. I told them that, as far as I was aware, the mayor had already signed it. We were going to be forwarding the correction plan, the corrective action plan with it, which, by the way, as I said last night, has already been forwarded, but it hasn't been forwarded in the context of us agreeing to a consent order. But the third item is the check that we needed the signed paperwork, the corrective action plan, and the check. I told them that as soon as we got the check, we will be sending all of that in together. The third item is a resolution. I believe Mr. Henry Thompson is on the phone. He assured me earlier this afternoon that he would be willing to come on to present to the council a resolution concerning an upcoming project. If Mr. Thompson is there, he should feel free to chime in at this point.
Greetings, City Council. Hey, how you doing? Great. I wanted to present this resolution to you all. This was an emergency during the time in February. The city had an enormous amount of flooding that was going on, and we basically reached out to the Alabama Department of Transportation, and we gave them 5 different areas to basically to assess and review and give us a determination upon. And on this past Tuesday, they came back and gave us agreement on one of the areas in which we had submitted to them. And basically what you have here is a copy of an agreement that was one of the projects in which we had, and is ultimately for a repair of approximately 150 feet of highway on Old Marion Junction Road. It will basically, it had a stress fracture in it where the road actually has a pipe that's running under it, and it's causing the roadway to sink, and therefore it has a crack that's about 4 inches wide to about 8.5 to 9 inches deep. And basically when ALDOT came down and they did their assessment, they took all of the information as well as they ran it through their system and came back with a quote, and they agreed to help fund this project. And ultimately, it's going to be at a cost of $93,750 with a 20% match on the city's end, which ultimately comes out to $18,750 total. And
Mr. Thompson, with that $18,000, that's not a special project or what?
Well, I was thinking maybe we could use gas tax. I don't think I have enough in my special projects to cover that total amount, but I was, being that it's a highway, and I was looking either on that end or grant match, which we haven't started on all of our projects. For that one, we could either use either one or the other along those lines to pay that 20% match.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Thompson at this time?
Yes.
Councilman Berlin, go ahead.
Mr. Thompson, I'd be happy to contribute oil lease money if necessary to help meet any shortcomings financially with this project. It does benefit Ward 1 and 2, and all the folks that travel through that road, which generally travel on a daily basis as people move around our community. So if I can help out financially with that with oil lease money, sir, it is the city's money, so if I can give it back to help pay for a project, I'm happy to do it.
All right. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, Mr. President, I'm going to ask Mr.
Councilman Thompson, go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Thompson, I understood from the county, from Judge Don, that they sold the county yard out there in Ward 8 across from the fish pond. Did you get a report on the brownfield on that? Because the young man, I'm pretty sure he didn't know what was going on with that. Did you have a report on that, whether that area was infected or not? Yes, we've actually we've done the first assessment on that property, and when we got ready to do, we're in the process of beginning the second phase upon that property, in which what we did was we found out last week that the property was sold to a private individual, and basically what we did was we basically looked into we're either going to either fund a project of similar amount, or we're going to come into an agreement with the private new owner of the property and decide. It will be brought before you all to decide if you all would be interested in doing the testing anyway, because it's so close to a city pond. And that was our biggest concern anyway. We didn't want there to be some contaminants that could possibly seep into the pond and actually infect our fish and things that we have going on with that. So we still have the funding available, and we have reached out to the actual private owner as well to kind of get some dialogue in regards to what his intentions would be in regards to the property, and then once we get that, we will bring it back before you all to decide whether or not that's something that the city would be interested in us pursuing in going in and getting a second phase done. Well, I appreciate it. Keep me posted on that, because I know the young man, and I like what he's doing. He really invested a lot into the settlement, and I think he may have some bright ideas, some good ideas to do something with that. But right now, if there's any way that can help him, I would love for us to help him. But the second question I got for you is just, go ahead, I'm sorry. Oh, well, I was saying that's a wonderful thing, because that's that was our major goal. We were looking to develop an area of land, and if it's something that we can do in regards to the city that will help
actually will help move this forward. And like I said, the only thing that we would require is whatever his plan is for it. If you know him and contact him in regards to him getting that information to us, that will help speed up the process. We did apply for a 12-month extension for the Brownsfield grant because of the projects and the pandemic that's going on currently, and it would have ended in September, but we've actually applied for an extension of 12 months, and it has been approved.
Awesome. The second question I need for you to do, if you could, Mr. Thompson, on the corner of Ward Avenue and Division Street, me and Ray Holmes met there, and that's a major cave-in right there on the and right now, I talked with him a week or so ago. He said he's going to get on it right away, and I hadn't heard anything yet. That is very dangerous. Anybody that turn off Ward Avenue on Division, they will go right in that hole. But right now, somebody keeps knocking down the barricades and all. But I really we need to move forward on that. I mean, 'cause that is dangerous. Will you please get in touch with Ray Hall and see what we need to do there? I think Steve said he got in touch with the gas company because they feel like the gas company, when they was drilling, they drill a hole in the pipe and made it collapse. So, it's been too long, man. It's just too long. We need to take care of it as soon as possible.
Yes, and my major thing with that is, and I've mentioned that to Mr. Hogg as well, the major portion in which, with any project that you have in mind or similar, something of that nature, the major goal is to figure out what it will cost to do the repair. Once I do that, then I can go out and try to see if there's additional funding outside of using the city funds to pay for it, and from that standpoint, I'll bring all of that information back to you all in regards to coming up with a plan to get the correction and make sure that it gets fixed properly.
Please make it a priority. This been going too long. It's been some months now, and luckily nobody fell in that manhole and the cave in, whatever you want to call it. But I appreciate it for something.
You're welcome, and I will get an email out to him tomorrow in regards to him letting me know exactly what corrective action it would take to fix it and what the cost would be. And from that standpoint, being that it's sort of an emergency, we may not have time to apply for funding to repair that one, but the major piece is that we know exactly what it would cost to do the work and get it repaired as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and I will let you know.
Hold on. I said Councilwoman Thomas, Councilwoman Benjamin and Councilwoman Thomas.
Okay, thank you. My hand was up earlier when we were talking about Old Mary and Johnson Road. Councilman Moline answered part of my question, so it is in city limits. But I also wanted to insert that if that area has a county commissioner, what we all need to do more is utilize our county commissioners. I think it sounds like it could be on the line where there is also a county commissioner where those voters have a commissioner and a council person. That's what it sounds like. And if so, Mr. Thompson, if you could also seek the help of the county commission because it covers their area as well, that would also help our numbers of them.
Yes, ma'am. I will reach out. I will send a letter out to them requesting any assistance that we can get regarding our match. And if you look in the document that ALDOT sent us, they basically wrote it up county/city in that document. So I will reach out to them and see if they're willing to assist us. It's a little further. It's quite a ways in the city, though. It's not near the line per se on that road. If we were doing the whole road, it would definitely be then. But it's very early on Marion Junction. As soon as you turn going around that split, and anybody that goes around there can kind of tell that the road doesn't shift. But I will definitely put a letter out to them and request to seek assistance within that area as well.
Yeah, if you could make that standard protocol when there's a county commissioner involved and it covers their area overlapping with the city area. Sometimes the commissioner's area comes into enough into that city line or whatever we want to call it. So it's not just on the line; it comes into the city sometimes as well. So if we could make that standard protocol that when that does happen, that the county and the city overlap, it covers both our territories. If you could make that standard protocol to ask them also to help with the match, because it's their coverage area as well.
That's correct. I certainly will do that. Thank you, Councilwoman Benjamin.
Okay.
Go ahead, Councilwoman Benjamin.
No, go ahead. I'll wait.
No, you want to follow the question?
No. This is something that's away before my COVID report. It's way too late.
Thank you, ma'am. Councilwoman Thomas.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Thompson. I'm doing a follow-up on the Brownsville grant done for the area located in Ward 7 off the Union with the junkyard. Can you tell me, we're supposed to be at the last praise with that. Have they completed the last praise on that?
No, ma'am. It happened. They were scheduled to come out. It was approximately about 2 to 2.5 weeks before the pandemic came. And what we basically did, we requested a 12-month extension in which that property that's located near the school is on the list to get taken care of during that time. And we will get that report to you as well. And that's going to be the second phase of that process, getting taken care of.
Okay. And also, did you have where I wanted to be where I can, sooner or later, I would like to kind of close it off because it's located in an area where we have to deal with the public safety with the students. I know school, they're not be going to school right now, but I do want it where that we won't have the students and, the children in the neighborhood playing over there. I want to be able to protect that community over there, plus around the school.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I don't see it being an issue regarding zoning and things of that nature, but it will probably be, that may be more of a question regarding the attorney and how the process wants to go, if the city is going to keep it or if they're going to go through the schools or however that's going to go, but I would be willing to assist you any way I can in going along with that process.
My second question is, I was talking to you several months ago about on 80 dealing with the intersection where we have the business at. When we're dealing with Valley Creek Circle in 2 locations, we have 2 sections that the residents that live over there, once you come off 80 and enter into that area. I talked to you about how bad it was with that location.
Yes, ma'am.
Area over there, and
yes, ma'am.
I've been waiting to hear what Mr. Rayhoff was going to do.
Yes,
that's start on this.
He has already went out and done an assessment of the area. I don't know if he's on this call, but I would call him immediately because that has been done, and he has made an assessment. He hasn't given me the report back in regards to what his findings were, but I do know for a fact that it has been done and it's complete.
Okay, and I would like for him to
assessment.
Yeah, and I would like for him to as soon as possible because I don't want to. If there's funding in your grant that can do this, I would like for it to. It's been a long time.
The issue with that, I would have to, that would require to do a submission for some other type of funding. Those fundings that I've already submitted for, those were more areas that had already come under the March assessment when we had all of the rain at that time. It won't be able to come under that one, but I would definitely, once we get the overall dollar amount that it will cost to repair it, I will look through all avenues in regards to finding some type of a way to get some kind of federal assistance or state assistance.
Okay. Thank you.
Are there any other questions for Ms. Thompson? Yes, Mr. President. Mr. President, Captain LaShaw. Here. Mr. Thompson, I had talked with you on yesterday, and I had talked to you previously about the Green Street Baptist Church disaster. I did talk with the mayor this morning. I indicated to him what Reverend Harris, who is the pastor of Green Street, is requesting. The mayor indicated that would have to be a council decision. The ministry is asking for a waiver of the debris that exists as we speak at Green Street that was caused by a tornado, a natural disaster. That site is a dangerous site, and I fear that if we don't take care of it, it's going to cause some more damage and perhaps some death of citizen that is walking or either driving by Green Street. I'm going to ask Reverend Harris to come before this council at the next week session so that he can share with my colleagues what he is going to be asking of us to do. I talked to Mr. William Moselle. He indicated that it would probably take about 60 dump truck loads of debris. Now, it may not take that much, Mr. Thompson, because I'm thinking the contractor that is willing to take the structure down without any cost to the church, that he will do it on the provision that he has access to the bricks. And I saw some bricks being stacked up as though they're going to be carted in a different direction. I really don't know exactly how many dump trucks load it would take, but I do know Reverend Harris has expressed to me that he has a small congregation and they're not financially situated to undertake any cost of removing that debris. This is why a construction company has offered their services at no cost to them. So I'm hoping my colleagues would take it into serious consideration that they would declare it an emergency, because it is. It could come down any minute. And let's get this church and the debris that was caused by a natural disaster out of the citizen harm's way. And Reverend Harris will come and I guess express to us what he's asking us to consider. Brownfield, Mr. Thompson, you did tell me, Brownfield, you made it clear that there's no hazardous materials such as asbestos or anything else of that nature that is situated at that site. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. They have, we have done assessment twice on that area, and it has been deemed as safe to be removed to our landfill. But and that was mostly on their recommendation as well. They said that it should be looked at more upon the outlay of a safety hazard in regards to animals and things of that nature if the debris is left the way that it is. And from us gathering the information from Mr. Moselle, he said an amount not to exceed $2,500.
Yeah. Well, it may be a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, depending upon the estimated actual cost that it would take to remove the structure that has been destroyed by a tornado. So let's just wait and see what Reverend Harris is going to be asking. But I already know what he's going to be asking is for some help and helping the Green Street and his parishioners to rid Ward 6 of this very dangerous site that exists as we speak. I do know we had talked about maybe last year constructing a fence around the church itself, but that would not solve anything because even if you put up a 12-foot fence, if those towers come down, it's still going to cause some damage and perhaps some physical damage and some property damage to that area. So we're just waiting to see what Reverend Harris is going to be asking us to help him with. I already know he's going to ask us to waive the cost, and I want my colleagues to be considerate of that to help me get Ward 6 of that very dangerous site as it exists. Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
All right, thank you. Do I have a motion on the floor? Councilman Benjamin.
This is about the same subject, but I can wait for the motion if you like. I just had a question.
Go ahead. Then I put the motion. Go ahead.
Okay, remembering when all of this happened, I don't have the tornado in my memory, but I do remember the fire department sending some kind of letter over to the church stating they were responsible for the cleanup. Do we know what the reason was in that letter for the fire department stating that the church might be responsible, the church was responsible for the cleanup? Because we took away from what was going to do. I don't know if teachers on the phone and if she remembers or not.
Councilmembers, please mute your phones because the only mics that are open are councilmen.
Mr. President, if I could respond to that, I had mentioned a tornado, and of course I may be wrong in that. I would think that it would tornado would cause the damage. And I was looking at the way a tornado had been First Baptist Church over on Jerry Chestnut Avenue. It may have the structure has been so corroded, it may have just collapsed. I just don't know. What was the exact cause? Mr. Thompson, do you know the exact cause? What caused that church to tumble down? Was it a tornado? Was it just years and years of erosion?
I don't have the exact cause of the failure, but from the assessment they did, they said that it was timed along with a thunderstorm that had happened either a couple of weeks prior to, and they mentioned that in their report about severe thunderstorms in the area prior to, as well as the people at ADEM mentioned it as well in regards to us trying to find out if it was clear to dump it in the landfill. And that was one of the reasons that they gave us because of the failure of it. It wasn't pushed over by a machine or something like that. It was caused by nature or something along that regards, and that gave it the clearance to be listed without having to be deemed ineligible to be cleaned up at that time. So that was a part of most of the reports in which we have.
I think we have been tremendously blessed that no further damage has been caused by that church. And I think we're just in borrowed time until something actually does happen. And it would be wise for us to move on as quick as we can, praying that no bodily harm is done or any property damage has been dealt with that need to come down.
All right, thank you. Going back to the motion, do I have a motion on the floor for the construction agreement between the government and the state of Alabama Department of Transportation Old Mary Johnson Road? We have a motion by Councilman Benjamin. Do we have a second? Second.
That was Youngblood. That was Youngblood. Yeah, that was Youngblood. I believe that's in my ward.
Okay, Councilwoman Youngblood, who was second?
I second Councilman LaShore.
Councilman LaShore. Any further discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Bowie?
Yes.
Councilman Bowling?
Yes.
Councilwoman Youngblood? Yes. Councilwoman Jackson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Benjamin?
Yes.
Councilman Randolph?
Here.
Councilman LaShore?
Yes.
Councilwoman Summers?
Yes.
Councilman Johnson?
Yeah. Okay, the vote was unanimously passed to repair the old Mary Johnson Road. Anything else, Mr. Thompson? That'll be all, but thank you all very much for your all help. Thank you, Mr. Thompson. All right, Mr. Thompson. Go ahead, Councilman Bowman.
Mr. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Hey, can you give me an update real quick on the marina, the dredging project?
Yes. Ultimately, the point we're at with the marina, which we've gotten the clearance on the amount, ultimately the only thing that we're waiting on is the contract to be drawn up for the mayor's signature to begin the dredging of the marina.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Attorney Robinson? Yes, sir. Okay. Any other items you have? That's my report, but there wasn't. I'd like to make mention of an item that I was looking at while the other reporting was being made by Mr. Thompson. Item 5 on your consent agenda, the $112,000. I noticed it's nominated to approve hazard pay to non-public safety city employees in keeping with an admonition from the League of Municipalities about hazard duty pay overall. I would suggest that pay be nominated something
You are unmuted.
other than hazard pay. It could even be called supplemental pay during the pandemic. Anything other than hazard pay, because it has to the term hazard duty. I know you don't have the full term hazard duty here, but even the word hazard implies something that we will encourage to avoid, if at all possible. So I'm suggesting that another term be used for that pay, perhaps supplemental pay during the pandemic. Okay, we will make that correction. Thank you so much for that observation, attorney. All right, well. Next we have financial report from Mrs. Wade.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening, Ms. Wade. How you doing?
I'm on a report on the sales tax, the tax revenue for the year, for the month of July. For sales tax, the amount was $979,106 collected, up by $93,000. For lodging tax, the amount collected was $18,467.90, down by $10,467.63. For tobacco tax, we collected $31,174, up by $8,113. For lodging tax surcharge, total collected for YMCA was $7,975. That's down by $3,435. For sales tax for the month of July, of $126,388 was collected, up by $11,017. For the month for simplified seller use tax, amount collected was $76,885, up by $33,917. For municipal aid street gas tax, amount collected was $15,964, down by $3,240. For refill Alabama gas tax for the month of July, the total amount collected was $6,374. And of course, this is our first year collection, so we don't have anything for this this year to compare with. Council, I just wanted to bring to your attention that I've noticed in looking at the sales tax, in all the tax revenues, for the most part, everything has increased in comparison of the FY 2019 fiscal year. Despite pandemic, I think the only true experience of a decrease was municipal aid street gas tax. And but overall, including lodging taxes, this has an overall net increase, which probably I would say is kind of unusual, despite we are having a COVID experience with the pandemic, and for sales tax to be constantly on the increase. And I wasn't here full year in 2019, but I just have to dig a little further to see why that is. It's a great thing, but it's unusual, to say the least. On the budget performance report, if you would turn to page 19, page 23 in your budget report, the total revenue received for the year to date was $15,587,739 for the month of July, as July 31st. The current month revenue for July 31st was $1,951,000. Current month expenses were $1,407,363. Year-to-date transactions for expenses were $12,370,63. We received approximately 88% of the revenue as of July 31st, with 2 more months report. So we're in good standing with that, and we have been below our expenses at 70% total for the year in spending based on what we project. Another thing I wanted to draw your attention to is the bank account. When you look at the $1 million for the economic disaster injury initially, that's how much we had in the bank account appropriated, set aside, dedicated for economic disaster. We still have a balance of $796,670. So that just tells you where we sit according to the AP, and what's been posted to the general ledger is a little over $200,000. Just if you look on that first page of the bank account under obligated in general fund, that's the dollar amount that you have remaining that's dedicated cash on hand for COVID-19. Any questions?
Any questions from Ms. Wade at this time? Ms. Wade, could you put me a hard copy in my box?
Yes, sir. They are all in your boxes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question.
Councilwoman Thomas.
Okay. Yes, I have a question to ask you, Ms. Wade. This is dealing with on the building and maintenance repair. Oh, okay. We have a problem. We have a problem at the police department where it's raining in, and plus we had molding. Chief Book was being talked with Circle about this, and they told us what was going on. On the 3rd floor, we have a leak on the 3rd floor, and I did a little find out, since we have building and maintenance repair in this account where it was budgeted at $85,000, we used up where we had at $67,420. So with the problem we're having with this building, Chief wants to be able to get this repaired with this problem. So I was going to bring it up under my dealing report, but I wanted to ask you, because you're the treasurer, tell us the account that we can use this to get this project, and I was going to bring it before the committee, Councilman Johnson and Councilman Ms. Benjamin, that this is what money is used there for our building repairs. So we can use what we need to. Also, in City Hall, we have a leak that's been there since we was having council meetings, which has not been there. So I wanted to know things like that with our city property that could, the chief would like to move forward. So I would like to ask this to be considered in good faith for the city of their property for our police department to take care of it and keep our city buildings up.
Mr. President, Councilman Johnson. Yes.
And Benjamin too, please.
Okay. Councilwoman, chairperson of the building, I want you to also get a chance, go out to the Memorial Station. It ain't leaking out there, it's raining out there. Matter of fact, the whole office that co-reaches I think Terry Jackson holds now, the whole roof came in, the sheetrock in the office came in, and it's raining out there to the stadium. I know it's going to take a lot of work to get that done, but have you check that out?
So I haven't been yet, but I will go out there. Do it be open? It be open for me to go in and look?
Yeah, if you go out there in the morning, they get out there, they got that cutting grass out there, fall stuff, but just call me or you call Terry, and we'll get up out there because there definitely needs to be some attention needs to be dealt with out there to the office in Memorial Stadium because it looks horrible out there.
But that is the director of the department, Terry Davis. She is the one that over the department head of that situation. But the reason why I brought this to Ms. Wade's attention is because Chief Wolford, he called me and we were talking about bringing before our committee to talk about this because these are some issues that have been going on for a while, which we have been waiting on our department head, which was under the mayor orders that anything dealing with the city property that they're supposed to see that it's getting taken care of, which we have been talking about a lot of the city property being upkeeping, which have not been gotten done. So this is an incident where the police department had to mold it, and he was moving forward. And he asked me as the chairperson to bring this to the ticket because the police department, when it's raining and the molding, you fix the molding, and then you're going to have the same problem back. So we're just going to bring this before the committee, and also we hope that the department head will start could be involved in this so we can get this taken care of. This is an issue that really needs to be taken care of. Councilwoman Thomas, may I make a suggestion, please? Each of the departments that you are referring to, the police department and the recreation department, have a building and repair maintenance. I'm sure that they're going to need additional funding, but I would ask if they would just each get a quote, gather a quote to see what those costs are going to be before coming before the council. So then that way we can have an idea, or either work collectively with the public works, the public building director Terry Davis, see what that estimated cost is. I know for certain that recreation has cost savings because they're not adequately engaged right now, so they have had a lot of cost savings. So it's a possibility that we can move money from other areas in their budget to cover their needs, to cover this repair. So that would be the first advice I would just get quotes to see what those money, what that looks like, and then we can come back and find where that money is, where we can find funds to cover those repairs.
Councilwoman, I think Councilwoman talked about this too, and I know Councilwoman had her hand up next.
Oh, well, I was just only, this was going to fall up under my committee, but I wanted, just in case if I trade it get off, I just wanted to address this issue tonight with her. And then the chief is on too, and maybe he can give us his input so we could work together in the department. The department head over the day-to-day operation, and he can bring back, chief can bring back what we need to.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Councilwoman Benjamin.
Okay, thank you. I want to go back to the report. To the COVID-19 expenditures. Would you read that back, Madam Treasurer? Would you read that back? Okay. I was referring to the cash on hand that is relative to the spending that we have done with COVID-19. Now, this balance does not reflect any purchase orders in progress. But what I was saying is of the $1 billion that you all I've restricted for purpose of economic disaster, really the 700 of that $1 million, we have a balance of 670. I'm sorry. And what that means is that each time that we pay a bill related to COVID-19, money, whether it's salaries or purchase, money is transferred from that account balance into the operating account to pay those bills. Okay, so I'm a little confused. You're saying $200,000 have already been encumbered? Yes, because has actually been expensed, not just encumbered, but actual expense. And you got to keep in mind that we paid salaries for public safety to the tune of about $170,000. Okay. Cause I was worried that the vote tonight was counted prematurely for the vote. So what you counted in there was $170,000 for public safety already. Right. Okay, I got it. All right. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from Ms. Wade? Okay, Ms. Wade, go ahead.
That's it.
That's it. All right. Any other questions from Ms. Wade? All right. Thank you, Ms. Wade. Now to committee reports and closing remarks. Councilman Johnson.
I don't have anything for the committee report. The closing remark, I just want to say that we out getting some contract bids now to be able to. I'm sorry, Mr. President. Hold 1 second. We out in the process now getting some bids now to be able to get the grass and stuff cut. Talked to Sullivan Brothers about paving the road. Well, not complete the whole road. And stuff doing some potholes on paving areas. I've got some help from some assistance from some people. And then plus we're going to try to get them markets and trees cut down as well. So hopefully within the next 3 weeks or so, we should see a big difference. I do want to thank all the volunteers from Anthony Cliff, from Lamarcus Snow, from Hawassa McGee, and all the crews, and everybody out there. If I miss the names, I want to thank everybody for what they're doing. Because like I said again, it's some time of need that we need help. And right now, reaching out to everybody that I even reach out to the county to try to get some help to help us. Like I'm glad my mentioned that tonight, because the county should be willing to help us with our situations that we're going through at this moment. But anyway, it ain't a lot going on. I just want to say thank you everybody and pretty much good night.
All right. Thank you, Councilman Johnson. Next, we have Councilwoman Youngblood, closing remarks, and committee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. In community development, we talked about this for a long time in the Arts and Entertainment District behind Art Survive over there on Arsenal Place. There are some residences and some areas where we have absentee landowners, absentee property owners, and the properties have been, like a lot of places, very neglected, very ignored. And not only is the properties becoming just demolished by neglect, but they are impacting when Art Survive may have some event. It affects, like when they have grass growing and people are afraid of snakes and vermin. And then you have people who will go in the apartments or the houses and just squat in them when they don't have anywhere else to stay, and they have trash and then other very unpleasant things that happen when people do that. But anyway, I'm asking that the council vote to invoke the Municipal Improvement Act on all of those houses. So there's an apartment complex, and then there are two houses, well, a house and an apartment, smaller apartment complex there. That we need to do that. We need to clean up that block, and that's what I want to do block by block, and area by area. That's the way we're just going to have to attack this thing, and it's going to take a combined collaborative effort. I've talked with Mr. Thompson in community development. I've talked with Councilwoman Jackson in Ward 3. We've been talking about it for some time, and of course I've talked to the council about it ad nauseum. I've spoken with residents, and of course the Art Survive, and we just need to go ahead and start on that. I had mentioned with the city attorney, Attorney Madison, a few weeks ago, to be looking into the Municipal Improvement Act, and I've got, I'm prepared to go myself if need be with a motion come with that. If you recall, we did that once before with the YMCA across the street that now the Historic Preservation Society has. So I'm making a motion that we go forward with the Arsenal Place. Just take that block of empty, neglected residences that qualify under the Municipal Improvement Act.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second? Is there a second? I second. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Youngblood, second, Councilman LaShaw. Are there any further discussion to invoke the Municipal Act? All right, roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Boyd?
Yes.
President Boyd?
Yes.
Bowley?
Yes.
Councilwoman Youngblood? Yes. Thank you, Council. Councilwoman Jackson?
Sorry, Councilwoman. Yes, thank you to Councilwoman Youngblood.
Councilwoman Benjamin? Yes. Councilman Randolph?
Yes.
Councilman LaShaw?
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas? Yes. Councilman Johnson?
Councilman Johnson? Councilman Johnson? Okay. Any closing remarks, Councilwoman Youngblood?
No, thank you. Good night, Selma.
Thank you. Councilman Randolph, committee report.
I don't have a committee report, but I just want to mention to the council, I've been out here fixing potholes and getting some quick fix of water supply, and I hope that people complaining about potholes and area wars and all that kind of stuff, maybe we can come together as a council and to have a fixed pothole weekend. I'll be willing to give up my time on the weekend to go and other folks' yard, because everybody got these huge potholes in our walls, and people are constantly tearing up their cars. And so I just want to offer my service to anybody. It's not them. So if anybody needs quick fix in your ward, just let me know and we'll make it happen. And it's called Quick Fix. It is $11 up this 50-pound bag, so it's not expensive at all. And it seals up the hole just like asphalt. Okay, did y'all hear what I said? I was my phone breaking up. Yes. Okay. Okay, yeah, because, you know, I just want to tell everybody, you know, I think this long time ago, when the Bears shut down on the city in 2016, that when it comes to election time, that's what people are going to be complaining about, potholes and trash. And that's what people are doing, because he shut down on the citizens, and so the citizens holding us accountable for it. And we not putting trash in the street, you know. We not telling people to stop paying their garbage bill and then they go put a whole trash bag in a hole and one day you see the other one, put it in the hole, so everybody's bringing their trash out, you know. So we need to come together and we can do it after the election, but I want every pothole and field to fix. We can't continue to let our city be ruined like this. Thank you, Mr. President.
So, thank you, Councilman Randolph. I'd be glad to join you on fixing the potholes. Next, we have Councilman Bowling.
No report, Mr. President. And closing remarks, just again, the trash situation continues to spiral out of control. Would like to let you know that if you leave your name in your garbage, and we do find your name, you are subject to getting fined. So if you live on Woodbine in Ward 1, and you decided to dump your trash out, maybe on Midland, you might want to go get it.
You are unmuted.
Ward 6.
And Ward 1. So, that's it, Mr. President. Thank you, and everybody have a good night.
Thank you, Councilman Bowling. Also tonight, last night, I think Councilwoman Thomas informed us that we have 2 new police officers, well, 4. And I asked Chief if they can come before the council, and introduce us to them. At this time, our new officers on the line. Chief? Chief?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, go ahead and introduce.
Okay. Well, we have a quota of, we've hired 4 new officers, 2 that are already APO certified, and 2 that have to go through the police academy here. So, they are on, and I will give the council so they can compare with the council.
Hey, guys, my name is Javante Benjamin, and I'm right here from Stillman, Alabama. I just graduated from Stillman College. I was just introducing myself to everyone.
All right.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And who else? Chief?
Everybody, my name's Louis Atkins. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes.
All right. My name's Louis Atkins. Born in Selma, and I was raised in Prattville, but I moved back here after my dad passed away in 2011. Be here close to my mom and help her out. I am APO certified, and I came out the academy this year, and I'm just looking to get out in the community and help make a change under Chief Wolf's leadership.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the effort to serve and submit to the Selma Police Department. I look forward to working with you, and anything that I can do, please do not hesitate to call on me. Are there any other comments from any other council member?
I'm happy to hear you.
Is Newberry on the line?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
it's 4 of them. It's
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Newberry. My name is James Newberry, and I'm 21 years old. I just finished trade school, A&M, a chief technician, and I wanted to be a police officer, and I'm proud to serve the state of the field.
Are you for sure how much you live there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what school did you go to? Selma High?
Dealwood.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah, one more to you.
I do have Officer Franklin, but in the area where he is now, he does not have service. So I will have him on the next meeting to introduce himself.
All right. Thank you, Chief, and continue on doing a great job up under your leadership. And again, welcome aboard.
Also, if I may, tomorrow we will have a full-time litter control officer. So tomorrow, for those councilpersons that have problems with litter, give me a call in the morning. I will give you the information of our full-time litter control officer.
Yeah.
Thank you, my call. Thank you.
Thank you.
He's taking a call from me first thing in the morning.
5:30 a.m. was just.
All right, thank you.
Send it out via email, Chief.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Chief Cooper, this is Councilwoman Benjamin. You have started something with that last announcement that you just made. So just know that when you get on the call, we are very, very appreciative, and we're not trying to overwhelm the new officer. It's just that we are excited about the announcement, okay? So tell the new officer, whoever it is that's on that patrol, it's just that we are excited that when we're calling tomorrow morning. And to Officers Benjamin, Officer Atkins, Officer Newberry, and Officer Franklin, who was unable to be with us. Thank you all so much for committing to serve Selma. It's a tough job sometimes serving people. And you all, I know some of you all, I know most of you all actually, and you all will be some of you will be amongst your peers. And so it's an exciting time. We appreciate it. We appreciate the commitment and the dedication that it is going to take to serve us. But guess what? You have a phenomenal police team that's going to train you in the right way. It's nothing like starting out the right way. And so thank you, Chief, for bringing them onto the team. And thank you to you all for joining the team.
All right. Thank you so much. Next, Councilwoman Benjamin, closing remarks on your committee report.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Let me
Is that my introduction?
No, let me mute everybody back.
I like it, but hey.
Yeah, let me go ahead and mute everyone. All right, go ahead.
And Mr. President, when you're on the control panel, you can actually tell who it is. It'll highlight the person who's doing the screen, actually. Okay, just so you know. So there's a lot of trash talk going on, and I just want to say to the citizens who are listening, we are putting a lot of effort. You are muted. We just got some money a few weeks ago, or the go-ahead. Just go ahead to use some money a few weeks ago concerning cleanup and grass cutting. But what's slowing the contractor down that I'm using, and probably others as well, is that you are dumping, and please don't leave wrong because I want you to hear. You all are dumping your furniture, your household garbage, your trash is overload, like there's supposed to be a certain size of trash for pickup, or else they charge you for that, according to what Mr. Hendricks told me. And you all are putting all kinds of things out on the street, and yet you come back with a complaint about how trashy the city is. number one is it is the city's job to take care of the city, the grounds and the maintenance of it and all of those things. And we should have a working public works department. So let me just say that first. We do not have a very functional public works department. But that does not give us the right to trash this city. Your garbage belongs in a garbage disposal. Trash is supposed to be a certain size for trash pickup day. Otherwise, you're in overload and you have to pay for that. There's rules to this and processes. To the company that dumped the water for in the ditch on North Broad, I do have an eyewitness, and I will be turning you in again to his corporate this time. I will. He has a code enforcement officer now, and so you are the owner of a company, and you dumped them water for houses, pets, and all of those things. You brought it from out of the county into the city, and yet the county gets to brag on how clean the county is and how trashy the city is. Well, then, we're going to reverse it and ask you to come back and get your stuff and take it to where it belongs. And so that is for you. We do know who you are, and I'm going to also give this information over to the chief for his enforcer, so the code on that can be enforced, and the eyewitness can tell exactly what they saw. For those of you all, like Councilman Bowling has said, who has left all of this information behind so that we can find you, and where you will be found is in environmental court. And so whenever that happens, you may have forgotten that you did it, but there are pictures and all of those things. But whenever that court kicks off, and you get to notice, it's on the day that you dumped your household garbage out on the street, and now it's time for you to report to the courtroom. So that's what that will be about. Mr. President, I would like to close with the closing report. So today we met at our regular meeting, and the governor's office kicked us off today, and they gave a few stats. There was for hospitalization. There was a 7-day average of 1,563 for hospitalization, and that is down from 1,530. I think it is. I think that's what my handwriting says. The number is down, but that doesn't mean that the 24 daily average is good. So there's 24 daily average of hospitalization concerning that. That's for the state of Alabama. Our facilitator Crystal reported for Dallas County. And reported 24 deaths now. We're up to 24 deaths in Dallas County. If you all recall, the last time I reported there were 21 deaths. So we went from, in 2 week time span, we went from 12 to 21 to 24. So the gap between the last two numbers is not as great as the gap between the first two numbers, but there are still reported deaths. There are 3 more than the last time. So we are at 1,336 cases in Dallas County. So let's remember that. Our state senator, Malika Fortier, reported that she's having a town hall meeting for superintendents. This is concerning education, all things education. You all, some of you all are parents and grandparents who have questions. That's going to be this Saturday at 1 o'clock p.m. And you can tune in at the Deputy Senator's Facebook page. It will be live on Zoom, so you'll get to see the Zoom by way of Facebook. That's 1 p.m. this coming Saturday. And if you have any questions for Senator Fortier before then, you can dial her at 407-8868. Again, that's 407-8868. Also reporting was Rural Health Medical Program for TK Dozier. She wants everyone to know that Rural Health Medical Program continues Monday through Friday to do testing, and they have a number of 874-2428 if you have any questions concerning testing. That's 874-2428 concerning testing. Also reporting today was our superintendent, our Selma City Food Superintendent. School will start on August 24th, but teachers are already back. And so they are having a partners meeting. That means you all who are on this call and other partners, they're having a partner meeting on this coming Thursday. So look out for information for that, or just call the central office to get further information. You should have it in your email from the superintendent concerning Thursday meeting. They want to meet with all parties. The device pickup for children, for students who need the devices for virtual learning, because we're going all virtual soon. That device pickup is next week, so they'll announce the actual day on next week. They're having technical problems with online registration, and Dr. Williams asked that we be patient with them as they get the kinks out for online registration. Also reporting today was the Chamber of Commerce. Cheryl Setley reported that the deadline for nonprofits and faith-based organizations is this coming Friday at 12 noon. That's for the grant. That's for the grant. Money, you don't have to pay that. For the nonprofits and the faith-based organizations. That's for COVID money, COVID grant. So that's 12 noon. This coming Friday is the deadline, so please pay close attention to that. Chris Spencer of the Black Belt Community Foundation reported that they have a recoverable grant program, and that is going on, and he gives me a number to contact him for more information. That is 205-998-8924. Again, that is 205-998-8924. They are having technical assistant workshops on tomorrow at 2 o'clock, beginning at 2 o'clock p.m. There will be a technical assistant workshop for government entities, okay? Cities, counties, towns, and villages. They will have a technical assistant workshop. And then finally reporting today was Mr. Eric Nettles, who is one of the executives of Zero Business Solutions. They have devices, technical devices and other things for schools and higher education departments. If you're on the phone as well, Guam Community College, whoever, they have the solutions for you if you're having technical difficulties or if you need the hardware to go virtual. They have that, and that contact number is 334-399-4242, and that's Mr. Eric Nettles. Mr. President, this is the COVID report, but I have one. We already voted on one. I have one purchase order request that's coming out of the clerk's office that we need to make an official vote on, Mr. President.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and this is coming from the clerk's office. Oh, it just went off. Let me go back to it. Okay. So this comes from the post office, and this is for hand sanitizers, disposable gloves, two types of disposable gloves, disinfectant spray, shields, two different types of shields, and surgical masks. These are being ordered in addition to what the clerk ordered at first concerning election day. It comes to a total of $9,563.
Okay. Councilwoman Benjamin put the motion on the floor. Do I have a second?
Wait, I'm not going to vote. Second.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Benjamin, second by Councilwoman Thomas. Any further discussion, questions? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Bowie,
Yes.
Councilman Boling, Councilwoman Youngblood.
Yes.
Yes. I have you, Councilman Boling and Councilwoman Youngblood. Councilwoman Jackson. Yes. Councilwoman Benjamin.
Yes.
Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman LaSure.
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas. Yes. Councilman Johnson. Councilman Johnson.
Councilman Johnson. All right, the motion passed unanimously, allowing the council members present. All right. Thank you, Councilwoman Benjamin. Councilman LaSure. committee report.
Here, Mr. President,
Councilman Randolph, okay.
Yeah, I was trying to ask something on council committee report. I think that there, but any residents that live in housing authority, they getting the COVID-19 tested for free. Any residents that live in their housing authority, like Rainsdale, City, you can get a test free. You can have some citizens that live out there utilize this free service. That's all everything. It's got to be a resident. And also, someone was doing a COVID testing in Belfast this morning. I think information like that needs to be put out and be known in ahead of time. But this was like some big calls and lines, and I was wondering who was doing that testing.
That's Rural Health Medical Program, and we report on every Tuesday.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Randolph, for that valuable information. All right, Councilman LaSure, closing remarks and committee report.
Yeah, Mr. President, I want to thank the Public Works Committee for addressing the issue at the landfill and moving expeditiously and getting their recommendation back to the full council. I want to thank the council for acknowledging that we have a real problem out at the landfill and moving forward on getting and with the courageous action plan. I just want to thank everybody for that. I'm not so sure about going through garbage, getting somebody's name and address is legal. When there was the active code enforcement unit several years back, I wanted them to do exactly that. And they told me that it's not legal for them to do that. And we would like our attorney to research the law to see if in fact that is the case. I would love for someone to go through garbage that has been taken from Ward 1 and brought to Ward 6, and vice versa, 6 to 1, to go through it, to rumble through it, to find out who is doing this illegal dumping and bring them to justice, because what they're doing is outright outlawish. The condition of the city is not the fault of this council. You got people going around here badgering us. That's okay. That's what elected officials are subject to. And when you put things on Facebook accusing me of things that's not true, that's something that you're going to have to deal with, not me. But when you want money from me, and simply because you don't get contracts, you want to use the social media to accuse me of things that's not true, once again, that's on you. And when you have my colleagues bring people within my wall without me being made aware to criticize and do political skullduggery, that's on you too. But once again, Mr. President, this garbage situation in our city, we have to deal with that. I've been trying to get this council to deal with them for 4 years. And they have not sit down to actually to deal with this garbage situation. There's been a recommendation that we need to use the law at our disposal. The law supports the council putting this responsibility on the landlord. And until this council get the courage to do that, then we're going to continue to have this garbage scenario that's ongoing in our city. Mr. President, we're looking for Selma to do better in the future. We all have problems in our respective wards. To no fault of each other. But the things that are being done is downright immoral and downright wrong and illegal. And guess what? Those who are engaged in it, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for it severely. I got the crime in Ward 6. It appears the gunshots have been minimized. I don't hear as many gunshots as I used to hear. I want to thank God for that. And I hope it's not going to be resurrected by what I'm saying and proclaiming that the lawlessness in Ward 6 is beginning to smooth out. But when you see something, you need to say something. When you see crime, you need to open your mouth. When you see criminal activities, especially in this election, when you see fraudulent people doing illegal things, tell on them. Take it to the authorities. Take it to the Secretary of State. Take it to the FBI. Take it to the Attorney General. Report don't know the crooked things that they're doing in your city as it relates to the election of decent people that is willing to serve this city. So once again, continue to do what you do, and you have to pay for all that you do. And good night.
All right, thank you, Councilman Ochoa. Next, Councilwoman Jackson, closing remarks and committee report.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, before I get to my closing remarks, because I do not have a committee report, I do have a contract before the council, and thanks to Attorney Madison for getting that before the council, and I so recently argued for on yesterday. It's for Denmark Tree service for several companies as well as the 301 Water Avenue. So I would like to place a motion on the floor that we approve the contract for Denmark Tree Services to remove stumps and trees throughout Ward 3 for a total of $1,325.
We have a motion placed on the floor by Councilman Jackson to contract with Denmark to remove stumps throughout her ward. Do I have a second? Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Jackson. Councilman Randolph. Any further discussion? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
President Boyd,
Yes.
Councilor Bowley,
Yes.
Councilwoman Youngblood. Yes. Councilwoman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Benjamin. Yes. Councilman Randolph.
Yes.
Councilman Latour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Thomas. Yes. Councilman Johnson.
All right, the vote passes unanimously of all the council members present. All right, Councilwoman Jackson.
Councilwoman Jackson.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I apologize. I was trying to get Mr. President's attention by sending a waving hand. I have a question response to yes, it's concerning contract, Mr. President. Quick question.
Hey.
Okay. I don't know if Councilwoman Jackson's contract has all of the signature lines, but I was informed by our administrative assistant that mine does not have all the signature lines. So if the attorney is still on, I'd like the signature lines added because I need them signed. Well, not them yet. I only have one. I need it signed by the proper party tomorrow morning. So if you could add the signature lines, Mr. Attorney, if you're still on tonight. Councilwoman Jackson, does yours have all signature lines?
Yes, ma'am. It does. It has Ariel Milton Denmark Tree.
Okay, yeah, mine doesn't have those, Mr. President. So, Mr. Attorney, if you could add the signature lines so that mine could be signed on tomorrow morning, I would appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Benjamin. Anything else, Councilwoman Jackson?
Yes, thank you to Councilman Randolph. I'm going to take them up on the offer for the steel potholes or anyone else that would like to steel potholes in Ward 3. You're welcome to do so. I've asked Public Works on several occasions, sent several emails, but Vernon and we've done well trying to get some of them built on Church Street, but Vernon and Pettit, I mean, it's ridiculous. And you're going to lose the money and alignment and all your time. And so we're coming out there, and thank you to Council and Randolph. Please, I need your help, and anyone else that can assist in doing that. Thank you to my fellow council members for allowing me to serve with you. Thank you to the citizens of Ward 3 for allowing me to serve as your representative. And good night.
Thank you, Councilwoman Jackson. Last but not least, Councilwoman Thomas.
Under my public building committee report, I'd like to give a report that I'm following up to the citizens of Selma. A lot of them have been asking about the light. Back here years, maybe a couple of months now, that we purchased the switch boxes for the traffic lights. And these traffic lights go out on you to be going out into the intersection, and they just go out. We've been having going out in our areas from Franklin Street. I have one on Fortune that's been out forever, and a couple other places. I never give up. That's one thing I don't do. When I start something, I continue till I get it done. And this is why I'm coming back again under the public building where we deal with the streets, traffic lights, everything, feeling that we need to do as leadership. We were elected. I am asking again that Stephen Kennedy, over Public Works, locate the gentleman out of Birmingham to put those electric blocks up to control our lights, because our streets are golden, yellow, and red lights. They go out on you when you come out in the intersection. And it was so bad on the corner of First Avenue and Broad. We shouldn't be. We ordered this, so it's been sitting up for a long time. And I'm asking Public Works Director to work with the gentleman, locate him, and let's get these lights fixed in our city. We should not have our street lights out this long. Also, I want to say this to our landlords. Landlords in the city of Selma. In my residence, if you evict someone, and you put their furniture and everything there out in our community, you make our community look bad. If you want to evict them, you need to haul away in your truck, get somebody to haul away and put it in a storage. Do not put it on Church Street. You evicted someone today and you put everything out that person had in their house. In our neighborhood, where other neighbors have to deal with this. They're going to sit there and look at all the stuff that you put out into our neighborhood. And then before the night over with, somebody's going to go through and kick through it, and it's going to be scattered out all over Church Street. So the landlord, I hope you're listening, because I'm going to locate you tomorrow, because this is work that the council person and the resident has to do. And you evict someone and put everything that they have in our community. Also, I want to say to the landlords that on a lot of things, they're paying taxes. And on unions, they're paying taxes. You have made our community just look so bad. We got burnt houses. We got overgrown grass. And these people that live in this area have been looking at this so long. And I have been talking. And I have been having the attorney to write letters. I have people call me, people come get me, tell me come look at this and this. We have got to do what we do as our own, as a resident. Cut this grass. Tear down the burnt house. Because this community over here, we're tired of looking at abandoned houses and houses that are on fire that have sit here for a year or 2 years. And we've been asking and asking. Also, I want to say this too about the household property. We have neighbors in our wards now, look out. They see when you come in your truck, you go clean up somewhere else, and you bring it to our district and drop it off in our neighborhood. How do you think we feel? They're calling their council person and asking their council person to come to their house and look at what someone brought in a truck and drop off. Truckload. Even when you're doing your lawn service, you're bringing it in an area where burnt down houses in an area with overgrown grass, and you drop it whatever you can into war shelter. We have made our mind up not to allow this to be done anymore. So we're going to work together to do what we need to do to keep our neighborhood up. We're going to continue to work as a community. If you drive in there, your tag's going to be got. And we're going to turn you over to the new APO certified officer, because this is not fair. We have to get up all this trash. Then we have citizens that live in our community I don't understand. They can bring all their household garbage out of their house and place it. It's just tons of garbage sitting in front of your door. And they call the council person and ask us to come and talk to the residents about their household garbage. We should have to do that. So we're going to have to do better and work together. And I am so glad that we're getting an APO certified officer so he can work with us, because I think that this is going to change a lot in our neighborhoods, because we have too much household garbage out here laying on the street corner. Also, I want to say this to a lot of my constituents that live in my ward. I want to thank you for all you do to help keep our neighborhoods clean. You don't have to, but you do it. I want to thank you for all you do in now trying to keep our neighborhoods, our city right away cut, because 4 years, 2 years and a half, we had to do this. In some areas, we have overgrown city lots that are so high that people are getting access that you need a tractor. And we have a problem with a lot of snakes coming into people's houses. I want to thank Mr. A.J. Monster. He didn't have to, but it was an emergency. When you got kids playing, you got 2 or 3 snakes coming out of these high where it's hot. They're looking for somewhere to get some water, be cool. So this public safety is number 1 issue. So I want to thank everybody for what you do in Ward 7. And you have a blessed night.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. Also, too, Ms. Wade, I know we passed that $1,800 for the employees. Tonight, what would be the turnaround time that maybe you can get the checks prepared?
I spoke with my accountant that processed payroll, and she indicated that it could be done as early as by the end of this week. So definitely no later than Friday.
Okay, all right. At this time, council members, put a motion on the floor for adjournment. Do I have a motion on the floor?
So moved, Mr. President.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Jackson. Do we have a second?
Yeah,
Do we have a second, Councilwoman?
Good night.